I have a couple of questions and eager to
Sure.
learn what you have to say. The first one being is you talked about the model part. The first one is how would you recommend B2B companies to map their customer journey and their GTM strategy? Right? The first part of is that. And the second part is how does that influence customer acquisition and retention?
Good question.
So,
So first of all, you need to recognize a company, a founder, company needs to recognize that customer journey is critical. It is very, very important.
hmm,
Now, the dev side of the house will say, without a product, you'll have nothing to sell. But
yeah,
the revenue side of the house says, well, without the money, you have nothing to build. You have no ability to build it. Both are right.
yeah,
What I do is I focus on making sure that the end result is a customer that's so delighted that they don't want to leave. They're always receiving more than they expected. Okay.
hmm,
Under promise, over deliver, not the other way around. So the way I do that is, and it's all logical. So when you guys all hear what I'm going to say, you're going to say, of course, yeah, that makes sense. There's nothing rocket science about this. First, I would map out what an awesome journey looks like at
okay,
every single touch point on every device.
okay,
Then I'd map out from an operation standpoint a process, and I'd literally build out that journey so that it actually works within your
mhm,
organization. And the way you do that is on a regular basis, perhaps as the founder of the company, pretend you're a customer or get one of your friends to pretend that they're a customer and go through that journey. Don't tell your sales team, don't tell your marketing team what you're doing, and go
mhm,
through that journey and see what it's like. See what it's like to deal with your sellers. See what it's like to receive your messaging through marketing. Do you feel like you're being spammed? Do you feel like every time you read a newsletter from that company, is it valuable? Did I get something informative that's going to help me? And you can map that journey. You can follow it all the way through. Once a quarter, I make it a point to have one of my buddies go through the journey. My sales rep will come in and say, Dan, I got this great deal opportunity. I literally put deals in the pipeline that the team doesn't know are fake, because I want to make sure that my journey is the right journey. And I know that sounds a little radical, but it works. What that'll help you realize is, where are the cracks in the foundation? Where are the problems? Where can you do better? So that's something that has worked for me really, really well. Now, value. So it's no secret, customers buy for two reasons, B2B, for two reasons.
okay,
Lower cost, increase
mhm,
revenue. Period. At the end of the day, that's what people care about. So what you need to prove is quantitatively as well as qualitatively
mhm,
what value is, are you bringing to your customer, and you need to show the customer the value that they're getting.
mhm,
And so if you can do that, and that's part of customer success team, they can constantly show the customer a before and after, an A, a B, anything that says, here's how much we move the needle for you, for the things that matter to you. It's important to know that, what matters to you, and then show them how we're delivering. And if you do a good job of that, why would the customer leave? You're showing them value. And
absolutely,
then the last piece is, sure, you can all say this. This is just a bunch of talk the talk all day long. You got to
mhm,
walk the walk.
mhm,
Training and development.
yeah,
Every single person on your team that's touching the customer needs to be highly trained and do a fantastic job of making sure that the customer is receiving value and is always delighted. So
absolutely.
that's typically how I think about it. But I think, again, most important, go through your own journey. Don't let your team know what you're doing. Go through it and see how it is. You're going to be shocked. It also
Got,
tells you how different people
yeah,
handle things. You might need some discipline or some training for individual people. You might find that some people have to leave because they're not doing the job well.
got
So,
it, got
yeah,
it. This is really really helpful, Dan. Then the last piece, right, which you talked about is training, right?
yeah.
Can you give us some examples like how you used to curate those training models for your team members so that they can do a better job while talking to customers? Can you give some examples of that?
Yeah,
Because what I have seen is then training is something which people usually do not emphasize a lot on, and that's really really important to be a very good customer facing role person. So if you can just give us a couple of examples and a module which you used to follow which was successful, that will help every one of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna almost change your question a little bit because I'm gonna go back to the root of it. The
Hmm.
root of it is people. A
Okay.
company's number one asset. And you can tell me, oh, it's my IP. Well, it's very hard to patent, especially internationally patent software. Very hard. Your
Yep.
people are your most important asset.
Correct.
Hire for skill. You can
Okay.
always train somebody who's, great at speaking about an industry. You can always train somebody how to handle a customer service issue, but you can't train for skill and intelligence. So go that route. Training and development, I found there's no wrong answer unless you find that it's not working. As long as you're investing, look, if you can get an info dev type of person in the company to help organize your information, and then you can get some professional training, do it. Always have a line item in your budget for training and development of your people. And it matters more so when you get to a certain point, past
Hmm.
ICP and maybe
Hmm.
even past an A stage. And I'll share that a little bit more as we get into the conversation. What I found is, as you grow, you're going to hear me today. You're going to hear me talk about the starter crew. So as you grow, your starter crew of people, those are the people that get you up, out of the nest and out into the marketplace. They figured it out. So when you
Okay.
hire for scale, those starter crew individuals become your trainers because they
Okay.
figured it out and they know it so well because they're the ones that have been doing it for a while.
Got it.
So pair up a senior rep, a senior marketing person with a junior marketing person. And
Hmm.
now the reason I do that, and it's like these little pod systems or
Yep.
structures where I've got a senior seller, I've got a junior seller, I've got a customer success person.
Hmm.
You can even bring a solutions engineer into that little team pod. And the
Hmm.
pod structure I like, it's not for everyone, but the idea there is that junior seller now gets to learn from the senior seller. That senior seller now gets to become a manager.
Got it.
That customer service person knows all, because they're on the team, that customer service person knows the accounts, knows the sellers. They all start working together as a team really well. And the solutions engineer is teaching everybody how the product actually works. So you get product training in there as well, right?
Got it. Yeah.
The days of go figure it out, that's not going to work. So
Absolutely.
that's one example that I've used that works well, but there are others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Dan. This is pretty helpful. I think to start with, we would like to implement this on Sprouts itself, right? Like pairing up people so
Mhm,
that they have this cross-functional knowledge and
mhm.
they can learn quicker.